Hi everyone, welcome back to David at Goes Hobbies. The other day I said I'd make a video about the reasons. I made a video and I think I listed about 5 reasons why you shouldn't come into this industry. Broadly speaking, it was 1, you don't know if you're going to get home. 2, you don't know if you're going to die. And 3, what was it? Can't remember. Anyway, what I'm going to say to you is this. There's no other job I know of that the boss, the company, treats you so badly. And you're paid peanuts. And the stress you have to deal with. Because, I'll give an example. Every time you drive a truck, you take your life in your hands. Why do I say that? Because you don't know if you're going to get home. You don't know if you're going to have an accident. You don't know if you're going to have a blowout. You're in your hands of the gods as such. And it's not only that, you think to yourself, is it really worth it? In short, no. The bloody job is crap. But as I started saying about all the bad points, you're treated like shit. The company that you work for doesn't repair the vehicles, most likely. And if the type of work you've got, if it's like, maybe it's a tanker, car transporter, curtain cider, fridge. I have actually done car transporting, but not on the big scale, not on the 11 cars, things like that. I've done, I think it was a 2-car transporter, it looked like a 7.5 tonner, but with a trailer on. Try not to yawn, sorry. But it's about people's attitude towards you. When they have no respect for the drivers ain't going to care about them. When they keep dropping drivers in the shit, it gets to a point, and then you get the blue-eyed boys, or the golden boys that get all the cream jobs, and you think to yourself, why don't people just get treated fairly? Share the work out. And a mate of mine said there's 3 types of employers, 3 types of people that work for a company. It's the one, I think it was, they leave you alone completely. 2, they are the ones that give you a job and leave you to do it and just make sure you're right. And the 3rd one is the person that is pestered, given all the shit jobs and so on and so forth. I'm sort of in the middle at the moment. I end up probably going downhill because I've got a few things in the pipeline, to say the least. But going back to what I originally said, and that is this. What's bad about this job is, you name it, it's bad. Is the hours you have to work, the unsociable hours you have to work, the lack of sleep, the falling asleep at the wheel, headaches, stress, anxiety, depression. Welcome to fucking driving. A job which is absolute crap. Excuse my swearing, but it's the truth. I'm not going to give you any bullshit. I'll tell you the truth. It is the worst job you could ever do. And the government says, oh, we want more drivers. Welcome to the more screwdrivers. They ain't got a clue what it takes to do this job. They think driving a car's hard. You ain't got a clue. If you think you're going to come in from a car license into an Arctic, oh gee whiz. And some, you see the new drivers, they drive Arctics like they've just been driving a racing car. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point is this: you're liable to lose your marriage, you're liable to lose your girlfriend, or your husband, or your partner, because you don't know if you're going to get home. The stress of the job's going to send you up the wall, and not only that, you've got all those frigging idiots that drive vehicles, and they're going to piss on your strawberries, big style. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. It really is. And then you got the worries about being pulled by VOSA, police. You think to yourself, everything's against you. Your time, your digicard. You're governed by what you can do, what times you have to stop, and everything. Manual entries. It is absolute crap. And not only that, every 5 years you've got to renew your HGV licence. Every 5 years you've got to do a medical. After the age, I think it's 45. And then when you reach 70, I think it might be 65, you have to have it every 3 years. And when you reach 70, I think it's every 1 year. I don't want to be driving these frigging trucks at that time in my life. I met a driver the other day, he was 80. I thought, my God, you're past your sell-by date. Do you know what? And this is the truth. I wish I'd never done it. Honestly do. But going back to what I was saying, and that is everything you can imagine with this job. Working out in all weathers, freezing your tits off, right? You can't feel your fingers. You're soaked through. You're frozen. And you've got a curtain cider. When it's windy, those curtains that blow up in the air, right? And if you're not careful, that pole will knock you out if it does hit you or cut your head open. It is dangerous, this job. It's not only, stressful, but it is bloody dangerous as well. And as I say, don't do this job. It is crap. And in the next video, I'll tell you what the government have done with the HGV license when you're applying for it. Talk about whacking. Anyway, there's some thoughts I can give you about if you're really thinking about doing this job. It's not very pleasing, is it? It's not very comforting to think that it's a job you could earn lots of money and be respected and looked after. Those three things, nah, it ain't gonna happen. Because as soon as you have an accident, it's his fault. It's his fault or your fault. You should have known better. I'll never forget, this is the honest truth, right? What happened was I was driving a double-decker and I was going over the bridge at Thurrock, Dartford Crossing. And what actually happened was the slip road from Thurrock comes on and joins the M25. But the problem being is that the car that was coming onto the M25 wanted to get into my lane. But the problem I had, it was a 50 mile an hour speed restriction, right? But not only that, I had nowhere to go because I got cars overtaking me, and he was down the side of me, and he pulled into my truck, the front of my truck. I thought, you frigging idiot! He literally drove into the side of my truck. Anyway, I called him a few choice names, and I pulled up. We parked safely, and I got out. I said, am I big enough? Oh, sorry. I said to him, couldn't you see me? He says, yeah, I saw you, but I thought he was going to pull over. I said to him, it's a 50-mile-an-hour speed restriction, right? I've got cars on the outside and the Arctic there. How am I supposed to pull out of your way? I've got a double-decker, right, fully freighted. How am I supposed to move out your way? That is what you're supposed to give way to the entrance onto the motorway. He admitted that it was his fault. He'd caused it. And do you know what the nitty-gritty of this argument was? When I got back to do the debriefing, they said to me, why couldn't you avoid the accident? What could you have done to avoid the accident? I said, if we weren't there, I wouldn't have had the accident. Oh, they are some frigging stupid bloody questions when you have a debrief and fill out the accident form. But I'll tell you now, this is the people you're dealing with. Could you avoid the accident? Yeah, if I weren't there. How stupid are they questioning it? Doesn't it make your fucking blood boil? Excuse my language, but it really does. And these people are supposed to be in the office and know what they're doing. Tell you now, you're wasting your time. You really are. Anyway, I've gone on far too long. Sorry about waffling a little bit, but that's the true facts about this job. Anyway, that's my rant over and done with. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Please like, share and subscribe. See you next video, everyone. Take care.